Hi guys, this is Mike Doble, former owner of GolfNorthCarolina.com, and the video is for the benefit of John Morosky. John, congratulations on the purchase, also for the benefit of Robert West and Dylan Bost. Give you guys some insight and so a quick tutorial on how to kind of use the CMS. It's a pretty simple, straightforward CMS. It's rather intricate the way it's woven across the entire fabric of the website, but I'm going to try to give you as much insight as I can in the next 30 to 35 minutes to try to keep this video pretty short. I think once you get under the hood and start working with the site, you should be able to see kind of how everything works. I will be kind of out of the loop for a few days, but on vacation, but this should give you some insight. And if there is anything of great need, you'll be able to contact and ask for Lisa Clow here in our office, and I'll let her know as well. And if there's anything that needs to be looked at or addressed real quick, we should be able to do that. So anyway, as to quick preface, I want to mention some things that I've talked with Robert West in the past. Couple of years ago, we started entertaining the idea of the sale of the website, and things were a little different back then, but the bottom line is I did make it known at that time. The website is written in custom CSS, a lot of PHP scripts to control the programming for applying populating content on the website and that kind of thing. MySQL is then back in. It's running on a Linux-based server, and the website's got thousands of search terms that it's ranked for. It's literally one of, if not the most visited, top-ranked golf website based here in the state of North Carolina. So again, congratulations, John. It should serve you well. It's been around for about 17, 18 years. Again, this last creative was done back in 2008, 2009. So there's a lot of information on here that's kind of been archived over that time that should serve you pretty well. A couple things to make note of is if you put your mouse on contact and see our staff, advertise, advertising control, and link to us, you may want to change some of these things. For example, the team, all this information is dated. That's yours truly back in 2009. This is my younger brother who passed away last year, and these three young fellows were three guys that I hired back in 2009 to help me promote and sell advertising on the then brand new website. I think we sold somewhere in the ballpark of around $80,000 to $100,000 worth of advertising. And to be totally honest with you, first of all, these guys aren't here anymore, but to be totally honest with you, and this is stuff that we've talked about over the past, the website's definitely capable of generating $100,000 to $200,000 in ad sales per year. Our company, AppNet's relatively small, and we own and operate numerous other tourism websites that are just more lucrative, and we just can't do it all. For example, we own resortcams.com that we work with resorts all over the United States, and we monetize that website through advertising. We also own skinorthcarolina.com and skisoutheast.com, and we generated a lot of sales and then just really never had the opportunity to really continue to work the site the way it needed, hence my idea for selling it. The bottom line is that it's easy to monetize. And John, I guess if you want and or need some insight into how to best maybe approach that, I'd be happy. I've been in sales all my life. I'd be happy to kind of provide that insight, not that it's wanted or needed. And if not, I won't take offense to that. That's no problem. But the site is very easily marketable. It's got a lot of rankings, a lot of good traction. And with a good sales pitch, a lot of the old ads that we haven't touched in years could be renewed and resold easily. Certainly new advertising can be sold, and especially with the input of the North Carolina Golf Association Incorporated, I would think that you guys could do phenomenal with that. As you need input on that, feel free to ask. If not, I won't be offended. So you may want to go in and change some of that kind of content. If you go back to the home page, some of the visitor information, weather, real estate, rentals. Some of this stuff's kind of dated. You may want to go into the back end. We'll provide you FTP access, Dylan, so you can go in and edit and delete any of the old HTML pages, change those kind of things as you need to. The dynamic part of the site works really well, still does, in populating content on the news, stay and play packages, discounts and promotions. And I'm going to go ahead and jump in here now and kind of show you how to use the CMS and how it's woven across all the entire website. I guess I should touch on real quick that these ads, in fact, one of these is you guys, but these ads are placed through Google ad placement. Dylan, you're probably going to want to set up your own Google account and change the zone code. You can do that in the back end of the PHP pages. Just change those zones so that this would be your Google account, your advertising setup or whatever to do that, and we'll leave that to you. One other quick note before I get into the CMS, John, is that I would highly recommend, this site lends itself perfectly now for architecture such as WordPress or Joomla or Drupal. I think WordPress would be a phenomenal fit for the new site because WordPress gives you the ability to not only blog but post and add pages and control content on any and every single page of the website, which I think would be good. If you do get into a new web design, I would just strongly urge you to take extraordinarily precautions and efforts to protecting all the current page structure so that the old pages would be recreated, whether it's in WordPress or whatever, and then redirects be done so that you would not lose any of those top rankings. There's a lot of rankings on this site that you just wouldn't want to sacrifice. So special efforts should be dedicated to that. And here again, John, I'm sure that Robert and his team you're in good hands as far as that's concerned. If that's something that you'd like another bit of insight or input to, feel free, give me a call again. If not, I won't be offended. So AppNet as a company, if you go to Google, do a search for top 10 search engine ranking, we rank #1 nationwide, and that's something we're proud of. And of course, we've got dozens and dozens of other rankings. So Golf North Carolina is kind of my baby. It was a product that I and my brother started about 17, 18 years ago, and for that reason, I'm pretty protective to make sure that all the rankings are there. And if that's something that you want some insight to, great. If not, again, I won't be offended. Let's get right to the CMS portion of it. What you're going to want to do is go to golfnorthcarolina.com/manager. That's all you need to type in. The rest will be populated. And this is a very standard username and password login page that if you provide, I'll show you how to do that in a few minutes, but if you provide username and passwords to the advertisers to be able to add, edit, and delete content on their own text ad, or if you provided it to the paid golf courses such that they can go in and add photos or change descriptions or yardages or pro information on their own golf pages, this is where they would log in, same way, golfnorthcarolina.com/manager, and they would type in their username and password. You're an admin, and so what you're going to want to do is to click on the site admin link here, and then the username is going to be admin, ADM1N, and then the password will be something that will email you a unique password. You may want to go change that after the fact, and that's totally understandable and fine. But once you do that and you click on site admin, it's going to log you into the back end of the website. This is a very standard page that we use this program script for numerous clients over the years, and you may want to have Dylan go in and change what this says. Nobody sees this other than people you give the username and passwords to. And it's a little bit of information about how to use the CMS for meta titling and those kind of things. What's important is the modules over here, and you'll see it says advertisers, new and list, articles, new and list, photo, new and list, events, and courses. And then there's two screens here. One says Real Man, the other is Real Man Admins. That stands for Real Estate Manager. And when we created a website, we kind of thought it would be nice and maybe a good promotional value as well to be able to call realtors and sell them on the idea that they can go in and place their own listings or properties that they might have on golf courses and or close proximity to golf courses. It's something that we really never got into. It's doable, and I'm certain Dylan and any of the PHP script people that you have would know how to get this working if you want to do that. If not, we can quote you on implementing that portion of the site. It's kind of cool concept. Gives you a lot more people to potentially sell for real estate listings, etc. But that's something that we really never put into play. Again, if you want to do that, we can talk about that. What is manageable, the assets of the website, would be advertisers, articles, photos, events, golf courses, and such. And I just want to go ahead and let's jump right into showing you the article module, which is this portion here. You're able to post new or list. I'm just going to go ahead and click on list, and you'll see that the most recent story was Keimer wins the US Open. That is the story that shows right here. You know, Keimer wins the US Open. All the content, the picture, everything is controlled right here. If you click on this, you'll see that it says it shows up on Golf. It's under the news heading, and this is the news down here. There was a little image uploaded, and then it had search engine friendly meta titling and descriptions posted. We put this piece of script in here a long time ago because this website does rank extraordinarily well, and one of the reasons that it does is we have so many search engine friendly titles and description tags on the website. Keywords aren't important anymore, so it's not really necessary that you do that. But the bottom line is you'll see that that story obviously shows up at the top. If I wanted to, with the article module, I can place ads under the news section, stay in play, or specials. And stay in play is right here. Specials are right here. So if I wanted to move this story, even though we know it's not a stay in play package, I'm just going to go ahead and do it for illustrative purposes. I changed that to stay and clicked on submit. Go back to the front page. You'll notice that the story is now missing and it's moved over here to a stay and play package. We know it's not a package, so I'm going to go ahead and put it back under news. Drop back down. Anything that you do, you have to submit to put it into effect. Hit refresh and you'll notice that it's there. A quick note, I'm just going to list all the articles. The order that these show up here is the order that they show up on the website. It's interesting to note because if you, after an event's over, like the US Open, if you wanted to move the Talamore back up front, all you'd have to do is click on it, drop down here, hit submit, and if I go back to the site and refresh, you'll notice now that that article is posted as the lead article. Obviously, I want to keep the Keimer story fresh since it's kind of new. I'm just going to click on that one, drop down, hit submit, and again, it's now moved to the top. So it's very easy to do that. It's easy to post new stories. So if I wanted to click on article new, select Golf North Carolina, select, I'm going to post this under news and put Mike sells the website. We're just going to pop that in, and I'm just going to browse for some stupid image. I'm not going to worry about it being anything of real value. I just typed in some gobbledygook. If it's a notable story that could be found on the search engines, like a golf course wins an award or something, you might want to meta title it. But anyway, if I hit submit, now go back to the front of the website, you're going to see that that news story is now Mike sells the website and got a little image here and some text. Obviously, I don't want that to run more than a couple of seconds, so I'm on the list, go over here to where it says delete, confirm that deletion, go back and check, and that page should be gone. So it's very simple to use the article module. All the other modules work very similar. I'm going to go ahead and show you next the photo gallery module. This is where we pop featured photos. What should be noted here is that the setup of the image, horizontal to vertical, if you used an image that's quite a lot larger, but it's, set up kind of the same way, a lot wider than it is tall, if you use that and upload it, and the programming will resize it to this size, may not be perfect. So it's usually just good to note that from left to right, this image is 710 pixels wide, and it's 292 pixels up and down. And that's important because then if you go ahead, if I go back to the module, this is the image that was uploaded. You can see the caption here says, and they're off. It's the same caption, the descriptive information, and then the picture was uploaded, and there's the image. So if you use a perfect 710 by 292 image and you've set it up in Photoshop or some other graphic program, it's just going to look better. Something that not many people do or even know about, but if you were to click on the photo, You're going to see where you can look at current photos and archive photos. If we look at current, it should be about 20 or 30. Yeah, 29. It's going to show you some thumbnails, and you can click on any of them, and you can kind of see a little bit of the information that we placed on that image. When we first put it up, the caption was Tobacco Road awaits you. The other information is in there for search engine purposes. So just bear that in mind. Forgive me for the cough. So that gives you the insight into how to use the article module and the photo gallery module. Now let's go ahead and we'll go to events. I'm going to list events. Go to the front page and show you where that's at. All right, this is the event section. We haven't updated events in quite some time. I'm going to do something here real quick. Sorry about that, guys. Just needed to take a quick drink of tea. But anyway, under the events module, now the way you control events is I'm going to go ahead and just add one. Click new. You're going to select Golf North Carolina. You're going to select event start date. We'll put the 24th. And an end date. Even if it's the same day, you'd want to put the 24th. In this case, I'm going to do 25th. I'm going to do a little sample member guest tournament at Mike's golf course. I aspire to own a golf course one day. I'll just put in our website. And then I'm just going to type in, doesn't matter, some basic information. Hit submit. And it should post that to the events. And if I go to the front page and hit refresh, that event should now show up, which it does. So very simple, intuitive programming. I'm going to delete that event since it's not a real one. And it should then be gone. Always check behind yourself, but anyway, it is. So that now shows you how to use the article module, photo gallery module, and events. The two most complicated modules on the website, because they're so woven in many different ways, is the course and advertiser module. I'm going to show you the course first. All I'm going to do is click on list, and for the sake of doing this, I'm going to type in Sugar, since that's the closest golf course to me. And you'll see we found Village of Sugar Mountain Golf. If I click that, all of the content that you see that's been entered on this page, the rating of the course, the slope, the amenities, and all the images and everything else, that is what controls, if I go to the website, type in Sugar, that is what controls all of this content. Everything that you see here is controllable through the admin by you, and or if you provide that access to the golf course manager. So for example, if this golf course called and says, hey, I'd like to spend money with you to do it, you can go here and put in their email address and a password, and then through that interface that I showed you earlier, they could type in their username and password and be able to affect any of the information that you see here, including the ability to add photos. So it's pretty straightforward, easy to operate, very intuitive. There's nothing really magical about it other than the fact that it works, and we've got a lot of information about every golf course, popped into this way. The one thing that they do not have control of, they being the golf course, is the ads that show up over here. These are ads that you're going to have control of as to what ads show up on what pages. Again, a lot of ads are showing on this website that we just haven't worked over the years, and very simple, easy to contact and renew and new sales, etc. But I'm going to just show you the part that's kind of woven into the fabric of this website. Now, obviously, if you were going to, I guess I ought to cover, if you were going to add a new golf course, you're just going to click on new, put a little toggle in the thing that says featured. That way they will show up excuse me, right here in this section. To cover that real quick, we have every golf course showing up as a featured course on the front of the site. This is in rotation, so we try to give everybody kind of equal billing. If you guys decided you wanted to only feature the ones that are paid, you just take the toggles off of each of those. When you're adding a golf course, you're going to select whether it's in the mountains, Piedmont, or coast. You're going to the course type, public, semi-private, or whatever. Then all the rest is pretty intuitive. Name and links and distances and amenities and pictures, weather magnet, if you know how to do that. Dylan will probably be able to do that. And or the descriptions. Give it a meta title, meta description, hit submit, and then that golf course would be one of the ones that could be found when people go in here and do a search. For example, if I type in Wilmington, you're going to see that as I hit enter, that all the golf courses that are located in Wilmington are going to show up. And then, of course, if you click on it, all the information that shows up here is the information that either you're in control of or you give control of to the client. In some cases, you'll note on some courses there's a nice header graphic here of the actual course. In other cases, it's a stock image because they never provided any imagery or they're not an advertiser, that kind of thing. So just bear that part, I guess, in mind. Now, the part that's probably the most complicated is the advertisers section. And I guess I'll go ahead and show you that next and kind of how it works. It's kind of, I think, pretty decent, pretty cool programming. I'm just typing in sugar here again. And you notice all the ads that show up over here on the right. Now, to edit an advertiser, you're just going to click on list edit. So I just did. And in this case, you're going to see Best Western Mountain Lodge, and you'll see how to manage that ad, place a new ad, or delete that ad. What I want to show you is it's kind of neat the way that we've done this. Let me go here real fast and change something just so you can see what I meant by neat. I'm just going to click that. And don't worry about what I just did. I'll show you what I did in a moment. Okay, so now we're on the Sugar Mountain page, and we're finding the Best Western ad that is running on Sugar Mountain and other golf courses. If I click this ad, it's actually going to bring up a page that is generated on GolfNorthCarolina.com. And this was done because a lot of advertisers don't have websites or websites that are worth a flip. So we were actually able to create this programming so that it would generate a static little web page that runs on GolfNorthCarolina.com. The way that that works is if I click on list, this information, when I click here, all of this information, everything that you see here, pictures and descriptions and everything, is what you see right here on the display page. Now, if I wanted to, let me go back to advertisers, go back over here to manage for a second. If I wanted to, I can click on this ad and say I want it to go off-site. And if I do that, even though that page that we just showed you that was created is still there, it's not necessarily going to show. Let me go back. And I'll hit refresh, and let's find Best Western. Here it is. This time when I click it, instead of showing the web page, it's going to open up their own website. It's going to go to their website. And we did that because, certainly ads that run here are going to be a better benefit if it actually goes to their website. They can track it and see that they got visitors, whereas if we just showed our information, they can't tell a lot of times where they got their business from. So it's always best to have it go to their website, although in every case this isn't happening. But I did want to show you that capability because it's kind of neat the way we wove that into creating content on Golf North Carolina. So every advertiser becomes an advertising page that resides on North Carolina, on Golf North Carolina, and that helps with SEO and rankings as well. Another thing that I want to show you is where it says manage ads. Got a couple choices here in placing in a minute, but before I do that, I'm just going to click on Best Western Mountain Lodge. This is for database purposes only. It doesn't toggle the ad off or on. You have to do that manually. But here's where you would provide username and password access to the client. If they wanted to add, edit, and delete, you just put in their email address and give them a password and that kind of stuff. But they can, you can, or they can go ahead and change that text information that's in here. Another thing that's important is, I'll go back one more time and click on manage one more time, is you have the ability, you, not them, to show where this ad is going to be placed. So let me go ahead and click on that. And you'll notice right now that this ad shows up on Boone Golf Club, Mountain Glen Golf Club, Village of Sugar, Willow Creek, Glenville, and Linville Falls. And if I wanted to add more, all you'd have to do is know the client's zip code. So you put that in. Say, okay, find every golf course outside of that. We'll say 30 miles, hit submit, and it's going to find other golf courses for you. If you decided you wanted to add those, you could. Like, for example, Mountain Air is not that far away. I also know that there's a really nice golf course called Mountain Glen. Okay, wait a minute, it's already showing up. But in this case, we'll say Mountain Air. I could click on that, click on add, and just that quickly, their ad's now showing up on the Mountain Air golf course page. If I go back to the front page, and let's just type in mountain. I'll just type in mountain. It's probably not a heck of a lot of golf courses named Mountain. There we go, Mountain Air. This is the one over in Burnsville. So I'm just going to click on that. It was the wrong one. Hang on, Mountain Air. Here, it must be this one. There we go. And now you can see that the ad is now running on this website. And just so you'll know, these ads are in random order. So if we hit refresh, that ad will then show in a different order. If you look down, it's in a different order. And we did that so that everybody gets equal billing for the advertisers. We thought that out in the programming as well. So that gives you the ability to go in and add it and delete, content and where the ads show up, etc. The thing that's a little bit take you a time or two to get used to it, to understand, is when you're placing an ad as a new advertiser, you're going to do it in a three-step process. This page, the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to add in the business and all the pertinent information, the URL, pictures, descriptions, meta titling, and hit submit. And what that's going to do is that's going to create this business listing, that the actual page that I showed you initially. It shows all the descriptions and pictures if we were to have a page on Golf North Carolina. But the ad's not going to show up. It still needs an ad. So once you add an advertiser, you'll then want to come back, and let's just say it was way down the list. You can just type in, best, or we'll type in Banner Elk. That'll probably be easier. We can sort, search for advertisers or whatever. So we know that we already added this, but let's pretend for a second that we had not placed an ad. In this case, you would click New Ad. I'm going to click Manage since it already has one. And you're going to create the ad itself. And this is, what is said, on the page that shows up, this information over here. So this controls what that says, and then the little logo that you also see that shows there. So that's the second part of placing an ad. And then once you've created the ad, you then have to place it. So you create a web ad page, you create an ad, and then last but not least, you're going to actually place the ad. So actually, after you've created the ad, you're going to want to go back a third time, click on Manage Ad, and now you're going to want to go place it. And this is where you would then click on and select the zip code or mileage range you want to add, golf courses, etc., and hit submit, and then the ad's placed. So that should give you about everything you're going to want to know. John, I guess for your benefit, I did create an Excel spreadsheet with all the old ads that we sold over the years, and a lot of those can certainly be renewed or deleted or whatever. You're going to want to jump in on that. And again, I've even got some old content, some scripts, some sales scripts that I could probably share with you if you wanted that. Again, I won't be offended if you don't. But anyway, I'll send that along via email, and then I guess I'll work with Dylan to provide updates on everything else, and I guess that's about it. If there's anything else that I can be of assistance with, I'll be in town tomorrow, Friday, June 20th. Reason I went ahead and did this early instead of waiting a week or so, as we had said in our agreement, was because I'll be on vacation next week, and I'll be out of the loop. Don't think there's going to be anything that you're going to need technical assistance on, but if so, Dylan, you can contact our office here and ask for Lisa Clough at Clough, and Lisa can probably get you some insight as needed. Otherwise, I will be back the following week, and I'll be happy to follow up with anything else that you might need. So anyway, I guess that's it, guys. If there's anything else, again, congratulations on being the new owner of the website. I think I've handed it off in great and capable hands, and wish you guys all the best.